If your household made $25,000 a year and your bills were $34,000 a year, how would that work out? It turns out that the United States government's GDP, the United States GDP is 25 trillion, and their national debt is 34 trillion. That is wild. Now, I'm going to get into the unfunded liabilities of 210 trillion and some measures, some austerity measures that the government will take. I know this because they did it in Argentina, Venezuela, Puerto Rico, Zimbabwe, and Greece. Argentina's having a heck of a time right now. Tucker Carlson's over there, and it's just wild. But I got a ton of notes in front of me, guys, but the main takeaway is what's in store for us in the future. You know, I think about that daily as I hear people's stories. I walk through life and, you know, I've got right here, financial crisis, economic slowdown, reduced investor confidence, contagion effect. All of these are a real thing that's going to happen, all right? We're not, just because we're the United States doesn't mean we're not going to have a recession ever again. As a matter of fact, I think recession is going to be in all the talking heads' mouths on national TV this year. I think it's going to be a popular thing to talk about, even though we're probably already in a recession. And by the time they start talking about a recession, we'll be in a depression. But I wanted to share with you some things that Jeff Gundlach said, because he's an intelligent guy, and some of the things they could do, and some of the things they could do, but they're not going to do, I can assure you. But first, thank you for being here. I want to show you this. This is a 1 ounce silver Trump bar. Isn't that cool? $3.15 over spot, wanted for president. Thought that was cool. Stacy's number is right there. If you're into silver and hedging your wealth, go somewhere else first. Just give Stacy a shot. We desire to bring the best price. Do that on everything, guys. If you're going to put a roof on your house, get 3 bids. If you're going to get something built, always get 3 bids. Keeps everybody honest, and you get the best price. So, Jeff Gundlach. Now, this is very interesting because he talks about the unfunded liabilities that are, you know, you name it, welfare. You know, they start cutting those welfare recipient stuff, we're going to see real chaos like we've never seen before. Partially defaulting on Social Security, that was one of the things. That is in the mail. I believe that is on par. Except we'll probably just print up the money to pay everybody, which we will all pay back in the form of inflation tax. Inflation's a tax. There is no free lunch. Now, he says paying off these liabilities in today's money would require 70 years of a significant portion of the economy, leading to the depression of 3 generations. They're not going to do that one. Nobody in office is going to do what's necessary to get back on track. They're going to take the option of printing money, just like all the other countries did. Greece, Argentina, Venezuela, Puerto Rico, Zimbabwe. They all did the wrong thing. That's exactly what the United States is doing. 210 trillion in unfunded liabilities. That's 7.5 times GDP. This will not work out well. This will not end well. This smoke and mirrors, this rigging of the economy where everything seems fine to the normie is going to start to seem not so fine. Now, in response to the recession, that's probably the biggest takeaway. What is the response going to be? You know, what's their fix going to be? Because they always choose the wrong thing. He says negative interest rate policies. That's a really good way to blow up the dollar. And deficit spending may lead to a falling dollar. I put equals. Negative interest rate policies and deficit spending equals falling dollar. That's how we have control of everything. That's why the United States is on top, is because we have the reserve currency on the planet. But that will not be that way forever. On a positive note, and I'm going to switch over just for a second to Taylor Welding. There has been more applications to trade schools in the last part of 2023 and already in 2024. I bet people are starting to see the writing on the wall that trades are going to make a humongous comeback. I think, I'm around tradesmen all the time, and they're doing really well. If you've got a skill in a trade, you more than likely have work. And if you don't have work, you've still got the skill in trade. You can do something else. Nobody can take that away from you. The stock market finished up in 2023, 26% up. I just took a quick note here. This benefited retirement savings. Just maybe think about what Warren Buffett's doing. He's holding massive piles of cash. I didn't write any notes other than encourage, because I would like for you guys to get into hard assets. Get into something that's not just gone like that. When the stock market goes down, you're broke. That, try to, you can buy a freezer and fill it full of meat. You could get solar panels. You could, you name it. My next video is probably going to be the best way to rig out a little welding cart so you can fix your own stuff. The absolute bare necessities on what you need to weld your own stuff, things that break. We're entering an environment now where it's going to be very expensive to repair equipment and just fix anything. It's going to be a lot of money made repairing older equipment. So that's another way to hedge your wealth. That's the tool 401k that I like to talk about. Now, by the way, more states will offer expanded child tax credits in 2024. That's that, stimulation, that free ride. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying there's more to come. And this is interesting. 35 insulin price cap is now in effect. So there you go. We're putting price caps on things. I think we're going to see more of that as well. But we're not seeing it now, so it must not ever happen. Now, as I was doing research for a video with the Texas boys, it was about the IMF and what they were saying and their solutions and all this stuff, which it's pretty boring stuff, right? But financial crisis, excess sovereign debt levels, we're seeing all that. Economic slowdown, we're starting to see that. Austerity measures was the one that I was like, what are you talking about, austerity measures? What are those? Well, why don't I fill you in? Reduction in public spending is number one. Governments may cut spending on public services, including healthcare, education, infrastructure, and social welfare programs. That's when chaos really starts happening. Wage freezes and cuts. That's number two. Freezing or reducing public sector wages. Lower incomes for government employees. It depends on which kind of employee you are, I'm sure. I don't remember the last time they voted themselves for lower wages. But, people that aren't in office, they'll sure pay them less, whatever. Pension reforms. Jeff was just talking about that. Governments may implement changes to pension systems. Now, this is based on what's happened in the other countries. Tax increases, number 4. This can include increase in income tax, value add tax, call it VAT, corporate taxes, and introduction of new taxes. Great. Now, number 5, this is interesting. Privatization of state-owned assets. This is for sure on the roster. And Governments may sell state-owned assets or assets in general to reduce the burden on public finance. Privatization of utilities, transportation systems, or other government-owned entities. So try to help me think through some of those things. What are some things that the government owns that they will sell, and who will they sell them to? That's the important thing. Are we going to, is the United States government going to sell more assets to foreign countries? I know what you think. Structural reforms. Governments may implement structural reforms to improve the efficiency and competitiveness in the economy. Deregulation, labor market reforms, and measures to attract foreign investment. That's what the other countries did. Is the United States doing that already? And is there more to come? Now, all that's pretty doom and gloomy, guys. I think a recession is well on the way, and all of these things that I talked about are in the mail in some form. But I need you guys to fill me in the comments on what is most likely going to happen, because there's some I'm telling you, salt of the earth is in the comments. I know a lot of them personally, and I can vouch for them. So get in there and make friends and start communicating. You're like-minded people that are able to converse back and forth in the comments, and then when we go to these meetups and stuff, you know, usually friends for life. I meet people all the time that are great friends with people they meet there. It's really neat to be around a group of like-minded people. I'll let you know when the next get-together is. Guys, have an awesome day. I'll see you in the next one. Later.